Okay. So, I'm going to start with the lecture. Hello, good morning. It's so nice to meet everyone here. So, si EJ, he was telling you earlier that what I'm doing, I'm not only a dermatologist, I'm also specializing in preventive and regenerative medicine. So that's right now, as you can see, all the diseases right now, like diabetes, metabolic syndrome, are all man-made diseases. So we can do preventive to improve the lifestyle and to improve our health. So that's the best medicine. Kasi when you're in med school, you don't study prevention. You just study treatment, you just study how to diagnose a patient, but you don't study how to prevent, which is the most important. So what we do here, what we're trying to do here, is we're trying to complement complementary integrative medicine with evidence-based medicine. So the evidence-based medicine part is this one, the PicoPlus laser. It's the newly acquired laser of the clinic. We're the first one in the country to offer this. So probably you've heard Pico laser before kasi it's been there for 3 years already. It's better than other laser. Pico laser is a new technology. Thanks to Audrey. So she's my twin sister. Kamukha kami, no? Yeah. Oo. Kamukha, no? So yan, so with the Pico laser, the evidence-based part, that's very important because what we know 20 years ago is different of what is effective right now. So that's why we're complementing preventive and evidence-based. So this is one of the evidence-based technology that I think is best for us, for Filipino skin. So Pico laser has been there for 3 years already. So it's being compared to nano laser. Nano laser are red light. So it's different from Pico laser. Usually this is comparable to Pico Sure, Pico Way, Pico Quanta, and that's the usual, the common Pico laser right now. But why do I think this is the best? So I waited for the laser because I don't want to just buy any laser, which is very expensive, as expensive as the Maserati and Ferrari just across us. Parang if you're going to buy something like that, it should be effective, di ba? I mean, if it's not effective, sayang, nakakaya sa patient. At the same time, kawawa ka kasi you cannot give back to your staff, you cannot give back to yourself. How can you invest to a greater technology if you cannot ROI that machine? So I waited for the best machine. So I waited 3 years. For me, the PicoPlus, this one, I'll start with the lecture. I'll just introduce to you the current treatments right now are the treatments for the pigmentation, like for tattoo and benign pigmented lesion. Benign pigmented lesion is the ones, the freckles, hoary nevus, abdomen. Like, usually you'll see that as the pigmentation here. Ang rami nun sa mga Filipinas, so that's very common. We call it the benign pigmented lesion. So what were the laser treatment choices so far? For the past 20 years, it's the Q-switch laser with nanosecond pulse. Yun yung mga uso ngayon, like, pinakamaganda na dyan is, one of the best is Angel White and Starwalker and Rev Light. So we also have that. We also have Spectra XT. Those are good lasers. These are the Q-switch and EAC, 1064, 532, Alexandrite, and Ruby. As you can see, iba't iba yung nanometer. Yan, ibig sabihin, iba't iba yung depth ng laser. Laser is like a sniper. It only targets certain area. There's a laser that will target pigments only. There's a laser that will target scars. There are lasers that will target just the pores. There are lasers that will target hair. So iba't iba. You cannot do anything with one laser. some people, they will tell you, oy, kaya nito lahat. That's IPL. The IPL is not a laser. That can target everything, but it cannot give you the best effect. So what limits the efficacy of current treatments? So usually, the epidermal pigmented lesion, like freckles and hoary nevus, like in Mom Cake, she has hoary nevus, parang ako, we have hoary nevus. But the problem, if you switch laser, since these lasers are more for Caucasian, if you use it for pigmented skin, like Filipino skin, even if I'm a bit fair, this is a type 4 laser, type 4 skin. So if I use a Q-switch laser, which is not very selective, meaning not selective, it will not go directly to the pigment kasi hindi siya precise as Pico laser. It can have side effects like hypopigmentation. Like if you use laser, especially in black people or brown people like us, you will see side effects complication like whitish pigments, and it can turn black, hyperpigmented. So that's it can either form hyperpigmentation or hypopigmentation. So high risk for post-inflammatory hyperpigmentation, yung pangingitim, because we have lots of pigment compared to our Caucasian counterpart. We also have angel white laser. That's really good for brightening, but we don't use that so much for benign pigmented lesion kasi mas delikado siya if you have darker skin. So for dermal pigment, these are pigment just underneath. It's like a mole underneath the skin. It's deeper than epidermis. So the problem with this is if you use Q-switch laser, like any Q-switch nanosecond laser, it cannot go as deep as the Pico laser. So usually there's a less clearance because lack of power. And at the same time, if you go deep, there's a problem of hyperpigmentation kasi you'll heat the melanocyte, the pigment cells. So this is the technology behind lasers. So selective photothermalysis is the technology behind Pico laser. So selective photothermalysis, it targets tissue in a specific area. So what it targets is, it has a certain target. We call the target chromophore. That's the medical term for the target. Like meron tayong, what do you call it? Meron tayong sniper. Meron siyang target. Like si Kay lang yung target niya. Meron naman na ang target lang is si Miss Lay. So even if it passed through Miss Kay, ang tatamaan pa rin niya is si Miss Lay. So ganun yung laser. So it has a specific target. But for the Pico laser, it has two technology. The selective photothermalysis via photothermal technology and via photoacoustic technology. So sorry, medyo specific, but I'll explain. Photothermal is most of the time, the Q-switch nano laser, they have the photothermal effect. That one, when you hit the laser light, the pigment cells, it will burst. Then it will create heat. So magkakaroon ng thermal effect, heating effect on that area. And that just in case you have pigments on that area, you have lots of pigments, it can cause what do you call it, pigmentation kasi mag-burst din yung pigment cells. So that can happen, the side effect. But with the Pico laser, it's more of what it has is more photoacoustic effect. So it's more of the technology is photoacoustic, is that when you hit the Pico laser, when it hits the pigment cell, yung heat niya is just minimal, just 20%. 80% is sound, photoacoustic. So pag na-hit siya ng laser, magkakaroon ng sound waves. So magkakaroon ng degradation of the melanin, if we're targeting melanin. At the same time, it can remodel the dermis. Pero wala siyang heat. So it will not cause side effect. So that's the difference between with the other lasers. So there are two technology, photothermal and photoacoustic. But for Pico laser, it's more of the photoacoustic, 80% photoacoustic. That's why we get less pigmentation. So this is the chromophore that I was telling about. So this is the target cells. The chromophore, for the Pico laser, we can target pigment, we can target we can target the scars. We can also target the hair, but it really depends on the depth. We can also target the vessels. So this is the chromophore. From here, you can see this is the target chromophore. The line, ang target nito is the vessels, the red one. The brown, ang target niya is the pigment, and the blue is target is water. So you see, this is the laser kasi, the Pico laser. Compared to other Pico laser, it has more nanometer, it has more handpiece. So it can target specific area, like it can target just the hemoglobin, just the melanin, and just the water. So it's really effective. Hindi siya parang scattered, which makes it less precise. Our goal is to have clinical efficacy better than the nano laser. So this is the selective photothermalysis. Laser light is absorbed by the chromophore. The chromophore can be the pigment, can be the water, or can be the hemoglobin, the vessels. The chromophore, or for example, if you want to target pigment, it converts the light into heat. So sasabog yung area. So heat destroys the chromophore. So this is the photothermal. But for the Pico, it's more of the photoacoustic. So there's lower risk of side effect. So this is the photoacoustic wave. So it transmits sound waves. So you would see collagen remodeling. So you would see photorejuvenation with the Pico laser. Picosecond laser are approximately 10 times faster than nanosecond Q-switch laser. So then, the nanosecond Q-switch laser, these are the red light, the angel white, and the other marami kasing Q-switch lasers, maraming brand. But those are the known brands. In 2016, the picosecond laser technology was approved for removal of pigments. So it was just 2016. It is an improved technology from traditional Q-switch laser, which fires laser beams in the nanosecond, billionth of a second duration. So is a picosecond Pico laser better than Q-switch laser for pigment removal? Actually, the Pico laser, since it's fast, most of the time kasi the tattoo, it's hard to remove. Like the red tattoo and the green tattoo. That's why Pico laser was invented for that. Because most of the time, if you use Q-switch nanosecond for tattoo, even after 10 sessions, you would still have the pigmentation, especially if you have red tattoo. But Pico laser was able to lessen to improve the clinical efficacy. But the problem with the first Pico laser that was released like 2016, hindi yan natatanggal yung ibang laser like green and red. So you're going to pay 25,000 for that or 30,000, but you cannot remove that. So syempre, we need to wait to improve to have a better effect. For me, Pico laser is the future. I still believe in nano. Like in the Philippines, it really depends on the maturity of your target market. Like in Singapore, most of them use Pico laser already. So in Singapore, they have 20 installation of this PicoPlus laser. But in our country, this is the first one who's going to install PicoPlus laser. So our maturity kasi, the Filipinos, we're more into kung anong mag-work naman. But because compared to other laser, the technology, this is more expensive. It's like comparing Maserati with a Toyota. Both are effective, but pero if you want a faster car, you go for Maserati or for Ferrari. That's the difference. So let's understand the science behind pigment removal. High energy is required to shatter the pigment ink, which will then gradually remove by our immune system. So if you use high energy of nanosecond Q-switch laser, it might cause PIH, post-inflammatory hyperpigmentation, because if you increase the power, there's more risk for pigmentation, unlike Pico laser. So this is the selective photothermalysis. The pulse light goes to the melanin. There's a melanin pigment explosion, and it gets cleared by the macrophages in our immune system. So certain lasers do not do not have enough power to shatter stubborn pigment particles. Hence the plateau in results of melasma. Marami din kasing lasers made in China, in Korea, but I'm not saying that Koreans or China, it should really be the studies. You should depend on evidence-based studies. Surrounding tissue might get damaged during the process of delivering laser energy to shatter the pigmentation particles. So the nano versus pico. So this is the difference. When you shoot a nano, you will see a low power, low peak power, and mas matagal siya na nandoon. So mas matagal yung pwedeng consequences for side effect. But if you shoot a pico laser, super taas ng peak power, ng energy, but at the same time, it would just stay on that area for a few, like for less than like picosecond. So yung clinical efficacy, it's precise. You'll just go to the area. Therefore, with pico laser, you just use fewer sessions. So this is the traditional nano laser. So there's a dissolution of the melanin, but you will see there's not a full, the clearance of melanin is not as effective as the pico laser. So this is based on a study using a digital camera. This is the one we targeted with pico laser and the one we targeted with nanosecond. So the answer to have a better clinical efficacy, if you want better result with fewer session, the best is to use a higher peak power, which is picosecond, and you can increase the energy high to low, like Q switch. The good thing with Q switch, you can control the energy. But with Pico, ang maganda with the PicoPlus, you can, the minimal yung pag-increase niya, like 0.04, so you can control the pag-increase ng power. Like with other Pico lasers, grabe yung pagtaas niya, 0.5, 0.1, 0.2, so hindi mo makontrol, mas pwedeng malaki yung side effect if you use too much power. Like with melasma patient, you cannot use too much power because it's very sensitive. Magpipigment yan. So this is the photomechanical photoacoustic effect. So this is our laser, the PicoPlus laser. It's an Nd:YAG laser with 4 wavelengths, 1064, 5P2, 595, 660 nanometer laser. Those lasers have different targets. So it's a true K-mark laser, true Pico laser. Kasi some Pico lasers, they're not really true Pico lasers. So these are the handpieces of the laser. So we have the zoom handpieces, the 1064 5P2 nanometer, which we use for tattoo, we use for freckles, we use for horinibus, for the upper layer pigment nibus. And we also have picotoning collimated handpiece. This one we use for post-inflammatory hyperpigmentation, for melasma, for whitening, for photorejuvenation. We can use this for the underarm and for the inguinal area. If you want to brighten the face instantly without makeup, parang kay Miss, diba you saw the difference? No makeup yan, but you see it's rejuvenated with one session of Pico. And then the other 1064 and 532, it's a dual focus dots. You see, pagkakapareho sila ng wavelengths, pero magkakaiba yung target nila. This one, it targets the scar. It can target the scar, it can target the pores, it can target the wrinkles, and it can target to make the skin rejuvenated. So this is to improve the texture, not only the pigments. And for this one, the gold toning handpieces, 595 nanometer laser, it targets the vessels. So we use that for acne, to lessen the acne, the redness of acne, and also to kill the bacteria. Because at the same time, it can lessen melasma, because melasma, it has a vascularity component. So we lessen the vascular component of melasma to improve it. With melasma kasi, with melasma, the vessel feeds the pigment to produce more pigment. That's why we need to target the vessels. So this is the goal that we use for melasma and for rosacea. and for acne, which is very important. Some patient of ours, they don't want to take oral antibiotics. We can use this, especially for children like 13, 14 years old who's suffering from hormonal acne already. We can use this. It can kill the acne bacteria. The Ruby Touch Handpiece 660 nanometer, especially made for the red tattoo, for green tattoo, especially made for green tattoo. At the same time, it's used for patients who are more pigmented, who have, you think, of skin type 4 to 6, just to lessen the risk of hyperpigmentation. So highlight of Pico, its high energy output, 800 millijoules, compared to its to other Pico. Other Pico, pinakamataas na is 400 millijoules. So this is the highest peak power, highest energy. In plus dual mode, you can combine nanosecond with picosecond, and it has 4 wavelengths. Siya lang yung may 4 wavelengths. The others has different, do not have the complete wavelengths. It has a wide range of precisely controllable fluence option. This is what this is very important. You can control, you can increase the energy of the laser. Napakonti-konti lang, 0.01, 0.02, compared sa other Pico laser na 0.5 agad or 0.1, which is delikado for our skin. Yun okay lang yun for Caucasian, but for skin, it should be pakonti-konti. Kung hindi, mas higher yung risk. So tayo lang yung may ganito. And then, it's very convenient, and so these are some of the before and after photos for the scars. Yeah. So with this one, we use 2 handpieces to target the scars to promote collagen remodeling, and we use another laser to target the pigment. So we were able to improve. So this is after 1 treatment only.
1 treatment?
Yes. After 3 treatment of focus dot and 1 treatment of for the pigment. So sky blue laser, it's really hard to remove, but after 2 sessions, we were able to see improvement.
Nag-light.
Yeah. Pinakamahirap is red, blue, and green. So if you're going to have a tattoo, just get the black one. But if you want red, okay naman, you can go here. You can go to us to do the PicoPlus. So this is after 1 session of PicoPlus, 15 days after. Green tattoo, yeah, that's really hard to remove. Some laser cannot remove that. This is after 1 treatment, completely removed. So this is red tattoo after 3 sessions. That's really hard to remove. We were able to remove it in 3 sessions. So black tattoo, just after 1 to 3 sessions. And this is for the scarring. You see, it will not only target pigment, it can also target the scars to promote collagen remodeling. And this is very easy.
Pwede siya sa stretch marks?
Stretch marks, pwede, pero not the number 1. I really love the Rejuvi-Clear laser. The Icon laser. It's 1540 nanometer laser. It's more specific for stretch marks. But it's a form of scar kasi, the stretch marks. But we want a deeper laser, so we use another laser. That's the problem with laser. You cannot just get one with 1 laser. That one is as expensive as this one. Para sila maganda. So this one with 1 session, you see total clearance with freckles. And this is melasma after 3 sessions. Melasma is really hard to treat. So this is after 3 sessions of melasma. This is seborrheic keratosis after 1 session. So this is acne and erythema. This is after 3 treatments. And this is freckles in abdomen, epidermal pigment, benign epidermal pigment lesion. So with 1 session, we were able to remove. So what is the difference of Pico laser with its competitors? So this is the Pico Shore laser. So this is the first laser that was introduced 2016. This is the Pico laser. So the difference is the pros. It's the world first Pico laser. It's alexandrite, which is 750 nanometer laser. Most number of installation, most number of clinical papers, and it has 3 handpieces. Before, it has 2 handpieces, 755 and 532. Now, it has 3 handpieces. Nag-add sila ng 1064 laser. So, for the cons, it do not remove red tattoo. That's the problem. That's why they have 532. And you have to wait 20 to 30 minutes before you start using the machine. And then, it has fixed fluence setting. I mean, if you turn the laser, the energy, you cannot make it, you cannot increase it little by little. You have to increase this by 0.05 or by 0.1. And then there's a low pulse energy, 200 millijoules compared to PicoPlus, which is 800 millijoules. And then low fluence, and it has shallow penetration depth and small spot size. But I'm not saying it's not good. Maganda yan. Maganda sila. I'm just comparing why we bought the PicoPlus. So this is another Pico, which is Pico Enlighten. We almost bought this 2 years ago. But yeah, because we studied the technology, we're still waiting. We were waiting for a very good technology. So this one is the world first Nd:YAG Pico laser. Nd:YAG is 1064 and 1064 532 laser. So, it's faster when you open it. That's its pros. The cons, it has no 595 nanometer laser. The 595 nanometer laser will target the vessels, which is good for melasma and for acne and for rosacea. No precise fluence setting at 532. Spot size up to 8 mm only. You cannot increase the spot size. And frequent error code. So, PicoWay. PicoWay, it's an Nd:YAG. It has 1064, 532, and 785. It has a fast startup time. But compared to PicoPlus, it has no 595 nanometer laser, which is for acne, rosacea, and melasma, and no 660 nanometer laser, which is good for darker skin and for red tattoo. It has low pulse energy compared to PicoPlus laser. PicoPlus laser is 800 millijoules. Low fluence. And lifetime of resolved HP, 1 million shots. So that one, dito yung magkakaproblema na kami. Kasi we need to pay. To see, may samahan. You cannot ROI pag ganun ka. So, other Quanta Discovery Pico, this is from Italy. So it has a simmer, which is a chill tip. It has Pico Micro Nano and Opti. The cons, it has no 660, no 690, no 595 nanometer wavelength, and spot size is limited. So that's the difference between other Pico lasers. That's why we got this one, because we think this is better for Filipino skin. Any questions? Yes.
Kasi right now I'm doing IPL for my underarm, and you said na pwede rin si Pico
Yes.
plus for whitening for specific body parts like sa underarm. So, will that be an issue if I do IPL and this laser at the same time?
You're using IPL for the hair?
No, for the hair, yes.
It's okay.
Okay lang.
So, pwede
okay lang.
pagsabayan.
Yes,
So,
pwede
how
naman.
does that work?
Pwede.
Kaya? Like parang every other week ba siya? Like this week, IPL?
Every 4 weeks. Every 4 weeks.
Pero hindi ko sila pagsasabayan. Like, itong week na to, for example, IPL, then,
It really depends on the type of the laser in the IPL.
Okay.
Kasi in our case, we sometimes combine. Kasi the IPL, it will just target the hair. It will not target the pigment. So it's okay. But sometimes, if it's not that calibrated, if the machine is unstable, mas maganda not on the same day. Kasi baka mamaya mag-react, magkaroon ng pigmentation sa underarm. Kasi very sensitive yung underarm.
Yeah. Okay, may isa pa akong question. Di ba mayroong 60 handpiece? Parang at max, pwede ba silang lahat gamitin for a specific case or like kailangan may mga minimum lang na 3 handpieces lang for for a specific concern.
Like one time we used, like the scar laser, we used 3 handpieces. So you can combine. Kasi it has, different targets. The laser has different targets, so it will not really burn. And it's very precise. So it's okay. Mm-hmm.
That's it. Thank you.
Okay. Any questions?
Gano'n katagal na training yung na mag-handle ng
Laser kami, siguro nag-start kami around with Pico laser. I'm very familiar with Pico laser for 3 years already. But right now, this is the only time that we got a laser for the clinic. So what we do, nag-training na kami since sila na mga nurses and then the other doctors around 6 months ago. But the intensive training, as in whole day, for 1 week was a month ago. And then another one, like a week ago, when we went to Korea. That one kasi, we met with specific doctors who have different techniques. This one kasi, you cannot just buy this laser and operate it to patient. Kasi it would not be the same if you don't know the techniques. So there are different techniques. We have the standard technique, and you should know the other techniques, the off-label ones, that you can use. Kasi minsan, it's not only the machine, it's not only the technology, but it's also the technician. So the mastery. So that's the So that's why we go abroad once or twice a year to get, and we attend webinars to get the latest settings. Kasi you would learn that from doctors. Sometimes we also share our settings. We use laser for the under eye kasi we found out it can lift this area even if you don't put fillers. So we also learned that you can also use this for scars, even for we also learned that with the baby skin laser, you can also use that for deep scars. So that's the new development. So marami laging bago. So you should learn how to play with your technology. So good question. Any questions?
Doc, last.
Yes.
So you mentioned Korea, Doc. So during your trip there, of course, you saw a lot of Koreans with really bright and luminous skin.
Yes.
And we also see that type of skin on TV.
Mm-hmm.
So can PicoPlus laser help us achieve skin like the Koreans have?
Yes, definitely. But usually more of makeup din kasi yun sa Koreans eh. And I think with this one, we use this laser for problematic skin. And then at the same time for skin rejuvenation, it will definitely help. Like for some people, I have patients who don't want to apply topical creams. So they just want to go to the clinic once or twice a year. So we can use this. I mean, pero better pa rin, I always say, better to do synergistic effects. You put topical because it has antioxidant property. So this one pala, it's made in US, but it's a Korean company. Maganda siya to the point na right now, very popular siya in the US. So that's why they have manufacturing na in the US. It's in the US, but it's a Korean company. It's the most premier Korean company right now. Okay? Okay na guys? So, who want to have a, if you want to have pigment, you can just make an appointment with us. You can just schedule an appointment with AJ and with NurseNet.